back, everyone. This is Leland Best of Best Live TV, coming to you with my good friend Ray Luan here today. I got to get my headphones on, Ray, because if I don't, I'm going to be echoing back speakers into your ears. So that's just me talking to Ray. Ray, coming in from Shanghai. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going,
It's
Eden?
going pretty well. I'm happy to
Yeah.
be here. Let's see if we got anybody in the stream. Look at that. We got people hanging out already. We got Hilton Davidow. We've got ITs, it looks like. So thanks for
Mhm.
stopping by, everybody. If you've got some comments or have any questions, do please leave them in the chat. We'll try to even bring them up on the screen. If you're out there on Facebook watching us through the link on the page or through the community group, be sure to come over to YouTube. We can pick up some of the comments over on the Facebook page, but that's it. We can't access the community within the group. So if you want to comment with us, come on over to YouTube. All right, Ray. Looks like things just froze up on my side, so we're going to avoid that at all costs. We've had some issues with a little bit of freezing up before we began today, so we may not be able to do any of the screen shares that we would normally do during a broadcast to help you guys understand some of the principles behind NewOaks. But Ray, fill us in. What's going on? I mean, you're the guy behind everything here. I can see it choking as we go, but hopefully we'll be able to maintain this. If things break, Ray, just so you know, what I'm going to do
Yeah.
is I'm just going to flip the switch out of vMix, and what we're going to do
Okay.
is go directly from Zoom out to YouTube.
Okay.
So if
Yeah.
that
Okay.
happens to all of you out there, just watch the YouTube feed and we'll send a link out. Well, you won't need the link. Just stick around and we'll start broadcasting again. But we've
Sure.
obviously
Yeah.
got some issues here. Vitals. All
Mm.
right. Thank you so much for that pronunciation, Vitals. All right, Ray, give it to us. What do you got today?
Yeah. So there are a couple of things going on with the AI in the AI industry, right? The first thing is that the famous Microsoft blackout blue screen bug that caused a lot of troubles. People was
Right.
actually have to stay in the airport. The banks, a lot of the bank systems broke and cannot work. So interestingly, it has something to do with AI. So
Yeah.
later on, the issue was spotted because there's a cloud safety company called CrowdStrike, and they
Mm-hmm.
built a AI safety platform called Falcon. So what Falcon does, Falcon use AI to predict and repair the cloud service safety loopholes. But somehow it sent the wrong instruction to Windows configuration. So the Windows got the wrong instruction, which caused the biggest trouble
Oh, no.
around the globe. So a lot of people were, the flights were canceled, cannot get money
Right.
from the banks. It was chaos. Yeah, but well, it is a alert, right, to us, to our guys who is working in the AI industry. So AI is good, but it's still in its early stage. We need to be very careful about which AI tools you choose, right? Who do you work with? Yeah, so that's the first thing about the
I mean, it could take one update,
crowds.
Ray. When you
Yeah,
see what happened here, CrowdStrike just simply applied an update to their
yeah,
networking system, which is something that's
yeah,
used globally. So this isn't just a
yeah,
one business
mhm,
strategy that was affected here.
yeah,
This affected
yeah.
everybody on a global, and the implications of that when it comes to AI safety, like Ray says, is probably one of the
Mhm.
biggest things that's, Sam was kind of slapped on the wrist for that a little bit in the beginning by Elon saying, hey, you need to, watch what you're doing here when it comes to especially
Yeah,
the AGI, because,
yeah,
that's an open network. And when we start playing with
yeah,
open networks like that, it can have some
yeah.
dire consequences. So what about GPT-4o Mini, Ray? That's the next one coming up. Or did you have more to talk about
Yeah.
on Falcon? I don't know if there's much
No,
there
no,
to say.
Falcons. Yeah, I think we're good with Falcon. Whatever they're doing, and we just need to be really careful about the safety stuff, right? When it
Yeah, it's
comes to
still an
AI.
issue. There's still people
Mm.
sitting in airports waiting to get out of the airport because they can't find them in their system. There's nothing they can do to
Yeah.
operate
Well,
anything.
the
So
good thing is that the Microsoft they use a huge database called
mhm,
Cosmos DB
mhm.
around the globe. So everything, all the data we use were stored in the database called Cosmos DB. It's
Okay.
crazy that Microsoft got only one database with no backup. But it's a distributed database. So one area was broken down doesn't impact the performance of the other areas. So the good news is that NewOaks AI was not affected by this aftermath. So that's the good news.
Now, I got a question. Can you answer? Was Aladdin directly tied into any of that? Which is the one that runs basically Wall Street, the Aladdin bot. It's an AI component that's been around. That's owned by, I believe it's what are the folks up top there? BlackRock owns Aladdin.
Oh,
And that is like the
Aladdin,
biggest
okay.
AI. Yeah, that one's been around forever. And I didn't know if that was affected by that. Sure, because that's a banking
Yeah, I
company.
think partially, but not necessarily. I think one thing, if they use Microsoft Azure cloud service, they may be
Mhm.
affected. Or if they use CrowdStrike service, just like Elon Musk did. So part of Tesla's factory was impacted by the CrowdStrike thing. So Elon Musk delete CrowdStrike right after the aftermath. So
Saw that.
two things, right? They either are impacted by Microsoft or impacted by CrowdStrike directly. So depends on whether they use one of those two services.
Okay. All right, on the
Yeah,
GPT-4o Mini. So they've got,
yeah,
an introduction just came out, and it could have a potential impact here. We've got a
yeah,
lower cost again, a faster model again, a more
yeah,
elaborate model again, more predictive
yeah.
model. I mean, tell us about it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so GPT-4 Mini is really it is a game changer in terms of cost and performance. So it was released last Friday, I believe, right after like within 2 hours the inception of GPT-4o Mini. I asked my dev team to integrate with NewOaks chatbot like in 30 minutes. So it went really well. And we can see that the performance is still not as good as GPT-4o, but it was way better than GPT 3.5 Turbo because it has longer context window, which is 128K, which means they can remember the tokens in the tokens of 128K tokens as a short-term memory, right? So it can remember more like round of conversations. And also, I think the reason that OpenAI released that 4o Mini because they felt the threat by Cloud 3.5 Sonnet because recently I was playing with Cloud 3.5. The performance was outrageous. It was beautiful. I think it's
Yeah,
better than 4.0. I think it's much better than 4.0. So
you're probably
I
right.
think yeah. So that's why Sam Altman just tweeted about the GPT 4.0 Mini and just published
Mhm.
to like compete with Cloud. And the beauty with GPT-4 Mini is that they it used basically the same model with GPT-4o, but with a smaller training data set.
Oh, okay.
GPT-4o has the richest data set in terms of quality, but 4o Mini make a smaller data set, but the data qualities are better than for GPT-4o. That's why the cost is much lower. So for the income tokens, it's 1 million token costs you only about 15 cents. For
Yeah.
output tokens, is 60 cents per million tokens,
Mhm.
right? So translate that to language that general people can understand is that one Q&A, one round of message
Mhm. Mhm.
costs you on average costs you about 1K token to 1.5K token.
Gotcha.
So which translate to the cost of per sentence or per message credit. It's about 0.3 cents per message. So
Oh,
literally, if you spend 1 cent, you can talk to the chatbot by 3 messages. So that's about the cost for Omini. So it's pretty good. So I think
no, it was
OpenAI
20 cents a minute to make a phone call in the US for the longest time when you went to a payphone. So it
right.
can't be that much. It's a lot cheaper than that, right?
Yeah, it's dirty cheap, right? And then I think OpenAI is going to obsolete the GPT 3.5 Turbo
Yeah.
So they are going to
So,
use 4o Mini as their major flagship model as it
got
is.
it. Well, that
So
sounds good.
yeah, it's
And it's
good
about
news.
time that every
Yeah.
time we see an evolution of a new bot, Ray, there's obviously the what we might call the de-evolution of another. You know, one gets put off onto the shelf of discrepancy because it's no longer usable. It's just not up to
Yeah.
par, and it doesn't have the feature set that the newer bots have. So there's really no sense
Yeah.
keeping it around or spending any time on improving it if there's no further ground to be had on that. So,
Yeah.
and speaking of further
So
ground to be had, go ahead, Ray. What do you got?
so I think the implication for us for the AI app builders like us, I think we should pay less and less attention to the cost of tokens. I know that
Yeah.
folks are playing with chatbot, always think about, oh, which model I should use, because costs a lot for GPT-4o. But the truth is that because of the competition between Cloud and OpenAI and Google, right, Gemini,
Mm-hmm.
the cost of token will eventually, I think, it will reduce to near zero. So let's pay less attention to the cost of tokens, but pay more attention to the features. So I
And
still
I
use,
agree with that. I like that.
yeah, yeah. So for
Oh,
not
there it
many,
went.
I still use GPT-4o as a for our free trial users because the performance is just better. Right. Yep. So that's the final wrap up with that topic.
Just
Okay.
for all of you guys out there that are experiencing some of the bandwidth issues that you're seeing, remember we are having a transcontinental conversation from the US here in the Detroit, Michigan area out to Shanghai, China. So sometimes these connections can break at a moment's notice. Just bear with us if we do have some of the stuff breaking up, but everything's going well so far. We do have Michael Ruiz in the building, also showed up for the broadcast. So thanks for showing up, Michael. Appreciate it. Again, if you guys have any questions, leave them in the chat. We'll address those towards the end of the broadcast. All right, Ray, let's talk vision statement. We got a lot of new things going on with NewOaks AI. For a couple of minutes, let's cover what's going on over there. You had mentioned that you have a mission to create the most accurate answering engine for SMBs. And we've seen the progress daily that takes place over at NewOaks AI as you announce new feature after new feature. So let's talk a little bit about the three-stage plan that you have in place with NewOaks and what you intend to do with that.
Yeah, sure. So the first stage is we use RAG, our retrieval augmented generation technology to just build AI chatbot so that AI can combine the business knowledge with the general intelligence of AI together to provide service to the potential visitors or our customers, right? And then recently we introduced Flow Builder, which is one step toward to agentic workflow, which is early stage of AI agent. So that's the first stage. So we build a AI chatbot can answer QAs and engage with customers. And second stage, we are going to equip with our AI chatbot, with different tools, like so that the AI chatbot can use third-party APIs to retrieve data and also push data too, right? And that's the first stage.
Could they use that data also, Ray, as incorporated to the original prompt? If someone said, then go get some data, use that data to include in what I told you to do because you're referencing that material. So it's kind of like a resource interruption. You can actually come in and inject more resources into the bot, correct? All right.
Exactly. So during the conversation, you can inject any data from third-party API and also push the data from conversation to third-party API. It's a bi-directional injection. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So that's the first stage. But like I mentioned, our vision is to build the most accurate answering engine, right? And then what it needs that I think what it needs that the chatbot is still lack of certain features that in order to make it an AI agent eventually. So what we call an AI agent needs to have, first thing is needs to have knowledge base, right? That's first thing. A second thing, it needs to use all kinds of tools. So that's what we are building. We call it Flow Builder to make use third-party tools. And third thing is it needs to maintain the memory from the very beginning of the conversation to the end of the conversation, to just to make the flow better, right? And lastly, you need to be able to do planning, to plan the whole workflow and to execute more complicated tasks. So with those four aspects, we already finished the part of knowledge base. Now we are in the stage that we're building tools for the chatbot. And then we're going to build structural memories, and eventually we're going to build the planning capability, right? So that's the four things that we need to make an AI agent. And when it comes to the fundamental technology, now we are like training the AI with the materials from either a file or a data script from a website. But the second stage that I think what we're trying to do is that we are going to fine tune the model. So eventually, I think in a year or two, every business not only has an AI chatbot, but every business needs to have a fine-tuned AI chatbot, which means the data was trained and the customized data was trained just for this specific business, so that the AI chatbot can answer all the different questions in a very short period of time without the need to ask, to call API or use RAG to access the external data, not knowledge base, right? So fine tuning is the second stage. That way the memory is longer, right? And the response time is shorter. And the third stage, which means which is the final stage, that I think every business will have its own large language model. So that way, it's the final. I think it's the final stage of AGI, and so the AI assistant literally will be the best employee of the business, because it literally knows every information about this specific business, even better than owner of the business. So those are three stages. Yeah.
Sorry, Ray, I didn't mean to interrupt. Do you see then more people actually having their own internal LLM over using Llama or GPT or Claude or anything of that nature? Do you think most, especially enterprise businesses, I see just compiling their own LLM internally so that they don't have to reference outside sources or worry about hallucinations with content that has nothing to do with their business?
Exactly. So I can't give you a short answer, but I know that there will be two options, right? One is that you train your own LLM with open source model like Llama. And the other way is, I think OpenAI may eventually open source. They may open source. They may make their GPT open source because of the competition, right? Because Cloud is there and Llama is there and Google Gemini is there. And so the competition of the different large language models will eventually, I think it may make every single model be open source. I don't know. So
it's a good possibility. I think it's kind of the direction it's headed in. When you see everybody, like you said, the cost of the tokens keeps dropping substantially. So it really comes down to a freemium model in the end. It's like, if you want to give us money, go ahead, donate the money. I think that would be where it would come down to. And there's already a lot of people like you.com and some others where they're combining all the models into one and actually providing it for about the same cost that people on each individual channel are charging to get access to these bots. So it's kind of, it's a weird shift in the whole landscape that's taking place right now. So interesting. All right, I'm just going to look real quick, Ray, see if we have any questions out here. There was one thing mentioned by Tell Me More Info, which was actually signed into my account at one point. So I'm curious what's going on. Let me know more about if you're inside AIO chatbots and you want to find out more about how I've white labeled Ray's NewOaks system. I can let you know more about it. He says, compared to getting one, which isn't 24/7 and costs $4 to $12 an hour. Now, I know that was earlier, so so I'm not exactly sure. I think you're talking about getting employees maybe for filling in services. If you can elaborate on where you were at in that conversation so that we can get a better context of what you were comparing to. I think that's where you were at with that, with relation to fulfilling obligations on the other end. Ray, what else we got? We got a lot of new features coming out. I've seen
Yep.
some, I've played with some. I'm really hyped up about the whole webhook API connections that are within the flow builder so that we can access connections to make and active pieces. You gave a short demonstration of how it works with active pieces in a video that people can find
Yep.
out on YouTube. Tell us more
Yes.
about the features that have come to NewOaks since we last talked.
Yeah, since last week we talked, first of all, we introduced the integration with GPT-4o Mini, and secondly, we released the first version of Flow Builder. We're gonna keep, make it more and more powerful because we make the customer customize Flow Builder blocks so that you can create different function calls for different demands, right, or features. And then we also released the third-party payment gateway system so that on top of NewOaks payment gateway, you can also introduce your own payment systems through API call. For example, if you are familiar or if you have a Stripe account or PayPal account, or third-party payment account, just use the API call to connect to the price plan that we provided to our agency owners, and so that all the payment will go through either by your own payment system or by NewOaks AI's payment system. So that's about payment gateway. Well, I'm going to create another tutorial videos about it later, probably later this week or early next week. And also this week we are building some cool features for our customer. For example, I'm gonna utilize the SMS feature that we have for the missed call text back. I think that's a feature that a lot of our customers requested. So whenever you got either you are a real estate agent or you are used car dealers, or if you're e-commerce owners, whatever business you are running into, right? When someone called you phone and you don't have time to pick up the phone, and then the chatbot will gonna send a text message back to the caller while you are not able to pick up the phone, right? And then send you a notification message, say, hey, there's a customer from number blah 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 and call you like 5 minutes ago, so that you can reply back. So this feature I think give the business owners a better opportunity just to build, pick up the lost customers, the lost prospective customers, and keep up the leads, right? Improve the lead conversion rate. So that's a feature that we're going to release sometime this week, and we are going to build a different kind of these kind of tools, including the QR code for predefined SMS message, just to improve the whole purpose is to make our chatbot is able to solve the pain point of the business owners and improve the conversion rate.
Absolutely. I did see one thing. Since you brought up QR code, I have to mention something to you, Ray. Within the white label system for the business, the digital business card, I see the QR code is still showing the NewOaks AI website on that link. So just for those people who are white label owners that might have access to that digital business card, you will want to look to make sure that Ray updates your systems so that we'll make sure we cover that domain for you guys. Just wanted to let you know that, Ray, so that we have that.
I will definitely check it out.
Okay. The other thing too, now that we've got pricing plans, we can build this out in two ways, correct? You have it set up so that we can use an internal LLC that you've set up for others to, if they don't have their own merchant accounts set up, they can bill through you. How does that work? Can you explain a little better how that actually works within this?
Right. So if you decide to use our AI agent automation
Hold
LLC
on,
account,
hold on a second, Ray. Hold on. We're
yeah.
catching up on video from the internet. So, all right, we should be good now. Go ahead.
Okay. So if you decide to use NewOaks payment gateway, which is AI agent automation LLC account, then the customer will pay to that account, and then we're going to distribute the payment to business owners monthly, and so that we can sum up the payments and process the payment accordingly. And then we're going to add it's about 3% of processing fees on top of what the Stripe was charging, just because of the manpower we had to bear. So
No,
that's
we
one way.
understand.
And
That's why I wanted
yeah,
to ask, because sometimes when
yeah,
people incorporate other payment
yeah,
systems, it should be
mhm,
expected that there's going to be a premium involved with that. So in a
yeah,
case of those who have their own Stripe or PayPal accounts, you can simply plug that into the back end of the
yeah,
system and use those yourself, bill your own self out on
yeah,
your own accounts. But if you're going to
yeah,
connect to Ray's LLC, expect to have a small fee included in that for his
yeah,
ability to put people on the team to make sure that stuff gets done. Okay, Ray, what
yeah.
else we got? I know we got a couple other things. The flow builder I've been playing with. I did want to show people how that works, but with some of the interruptions we've had with the internet today, it's kind of a risky proposition. I can explain one thing, and it's really that simple, Ray. You add a webhook URL to the interface you're working with. In this case, I'm going to show a quick example of an integration with Make. So in essence, it's really just going over to the webhook location on NewOaks, where you'll add the webhook API. And in this case, you see the API to my Make account on this particular platform. That'll be gone by the time we leave this broadcast, so don't worry about it. The webhook signature key and the response status are going to come up after you actually connect everything. So in this case, the guide is here. You simply follow the webhook document down to where you can see the X webhook signature is the header that's used by NewOaks for the transfer of the context back and forth. The listening for the chat log content is under that same signature. So you'll want to map and follow the layout that they're using when it comes to CRM data. So the JSON body shown here is a serial number, a type, a first name, last name, email, phone number, created time, content, which is the full amount of the text delivered, also a session ID so that they can reference back and forth which session ID is being referred to, and then a URI, which is the actual connecting point for the webhook, which is over at NewOaks. So that's the gist of it. You enter that URL in and then come over to Make, which in this case, I've simply added a new webhook on Make that is addressing the concern over on NewOaks. I can verify that webhook status by testing it. If it fails to complete, it's simply something on my end. So I'm going to have to either go over here and run this once or turn it on or make sure it's operating correctly so that it makes the connection to NewOaks. Then I can transfer that data anywhere else I want to. And in this case, I'm transferring it over to Airtable, where I simply enter it into a table inside their system through an API connection. And then the webhook response has to come back. So you need to make sure in the context of the webhooks that NewOaks AI receives the response hook back, and that's verified in the save. So that's really the gist of it. And once you're connected, those things take place all on their own, right? Right.
Good, good, very good tutorial, Dylan.
And I'm going to do more, Ray. Ray's probably upset with me. I've been delaying my tutorials. He's like, Leland, when's my tutorial? Where's my tutorial? And I'm like, I've got things that got in my way. And I apologize to all of you out there who have been anxiously awaiting tutorials for NewOaks. We are looking to put them in both Loom and Guide going forward. So what that means is we're going to have an AI component involved with our training manuals as well, which is to say we're going to go through each step individually, one at a time, to show you how to do it. We're going to let AI write the content, and that's going to be what you're going to see as a deliverable so that you can better understand the internal workings of NewOaks. Right, Ray?
Yeah, thank you. The AI will definitely help, right? Improve your productivity, Dylan.
I know, and I'm a terrible productivator today. It seems to be the last week or so anyway. So other people that I know don't seem to feel that way because I'm getting a lot of stuff done for them, but not for Ray. So I got to work on Ray here. All right, Ray. Do you have anything else that you want to cover today? I think we had one other feature component here that came back. Sam Altman had a lot to say the other day, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah,
Why don't
yeah.
you
So
tell us
there's
about it?
Yeah, just remind me of the experiment that Sam Altman did. So he raised about $60 million. Just make it an experiment to just he picked up 1,000 people and gave them $1,000 a month for 3 years just to test out when AI reaches the final stage, so that most of the people on the earth does not need to work. How is how the government is going to deal with the people, right? So literally he sent people $1,000 a month and just want to see what the result is. Interestingly, the first year the result turns to be better, right? $1,000 is a lot of money, and it does really make a lot of people's life easier. But then after the first year, I mean, the situation changed a little bit. Nobody wants to work anymore because the money is so easy and it's the free money. And eventually, I think the key takeout is that give a free money doesn't mean anything. I mean, it does not incentivize incentive. It's not a good incentive for people. I think eventually, yeah, people still need to work harder to earn stuff, to earn the money, to earn the respect, or to earn the service, and by providing value themselves. So I think eventually when AGI arrives, probably Sam Altman or OpenAI or whatever AI company, maybe they will give us a set of free tokens every month, instead of a bunch of money like $1,000, $2,000 a month, right? So we have the calculation power to build stuff, not just take money and just lay back, right?
Yeah, I grew up under the auspice that you have to work hard to earn a living, and that's not always the best thought for people. Sometimes they get into a trap where they have to feel like they're on this hustle mentality all the time. And I know you're there I was there in my 30s, Ray. I was like 20 hours a day, sleep 4, up and at them again first thing in the morning. And that can create a lot of stress on both the person and the family. And but working for your money gives you a lot of self-gratification. It's about performing a task and getting it done, or helping others by doing something you wouldn't normally do on your own for yourself. You might go out and change the world by doing that someday. And without any incentive, if it's just sit around and get your money all day and watch TV and play your video games, then what does it do for the rest of us? It doesn't do
right. Right. Human being may be extinct, right?
For sure.
Eventually. Yeah.
All right. Well, just looking at the screen real quick, the comment that they made earlier was about the cost of a VA is a lot more than that's where he meant. You can't get a VA to work 24/7, and they usually cost $4 to $12 an hour versus a penny or two per second or minute, whatever the charges are going to end up being in the long run for these conversations, which is really just a penny per conversation when you think about it, per back and forth when you're thinking.
Per back and forth.
All right. Well, thanks for that, Michael. Is there anything you'd like to leave with the crowd here today, Ray, before we leave? And we'll take it at that.
I think that's pretty much. Oh, one more thing that I'm looking for some of you guys. I want to do more interview with my current customers just to build up a better use case for them so that they can use our chatbot better. So whoever saw this video and interested to set up interview with me, just send an email to support@NewOaks.ai so that I can use NewOaks as chatbot to help you grow your business. Okay, that's it.
Absolutely. That was beautiful, Ray, because I'm just here to help Ray. I'm doing this as really just a favor for Ray to get this broadcast out so that he has a one-off show to keep you guys all informed of what's happening. And this is what I do for a living. I do broadcasts. So for me to offer this to Ray after he offered me what he has in his white label setup has been an even exchange. So I don't have much to say than come along with us, join in, to sit down with Ray and talk to him for a while. Ask him the questions that you want to ask him. I can only come up with so many. So feel free, have fun. All right, Ray, you have a great day. Work hard as always, and we'll see you next week. Take care, everyone.
Thank you. See you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
You guys have a good one. Bye-bye.